Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Ollie coming back with some more Honda slash Toyota DIYs. If you look carefully here, we have a 2003 Honda Civic, and we are going to be replacing the valve cover gasket and also the cam position sensor, which is right there. I have the parts right here. We have the entire valve cover gasket kit with the valve cover gasket, the spark plug tubes, and the little grommets to secure the valve cover down. And here we have the cam position sensor and some Honda Bond. First things first, we're going to be focused on removing these 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts that hold down the coils. And then there's a couple of bolts around the valve cover that we have to remove to actually remove this whole thing, which I will show you guys in a second. Guys, please make sure you have a nice little light so you can actually see everything that you're doing. But first thing, we're going to remove this Honda cover right here. Get yourself a flathead screwdriver, twist these to the side, and it should just simply pop off just like that. Now we're going to get 10 millimeters to remove this 10 millimeter socket. Sorry about that. Very simple. Makes it easier if you have an impact like this, but you're going to be removing 10 millimeter socket, by the way, these 4. Let's go ahead and put that in. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. Now what you want to do is remove the plugs. Lift up the ignition coils, push down the tab, remove the plugs. There's ignition coil number 1. Pull it out a little bit, pull the plug, ignition coil number 2, and try to keep them in order so you know which way they came in. Number 3, and number 4. It's probably smart to disconnect your battery, which I didn't do, but I will do that in a second. You just want to disconnect the negative terminal, which is that one right there, yes. Next, we will be removing this wire harness to get it out of the way so we can actually pull off the valve cover. So there's a 10 mil right there, 10 mil right there. We're going to disconnect some of these connections to make it easier. And also there's a 10 mil here and here to remove this holder for the throttle cables. So you're going to need that out of the way to pull out the valve cover as well. Alrighty. Just going to remove this 10 mil that holds the harness. There's one more right here. Make sure to store your bolts somewhere that you're going to remember where they are. And then let's remove those 2 10 mils that hold the throttle cables. So one right here. Don't lose your bolts too. If they drop in the engine bay, you might as well just kill yourself after that one. There's 1. And there is 2. And just like that, I dropped one. I'd be lying to you if I told you I did not lose this bolt, but let's worry about that later. We got this out of the way. Throttle cable. So there's actually a hose right here. Gonna move this clamp. Try to get this hose off the valve cover. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but basically just try to twist this hose off. All right, it's action time. Let's move this out of the way. We got a 10 millimeter. That came out like kaimak. If you know, you know. Let's remove this one right here. That one's out. Well, this one is being tricky, guys. All right. You know what, guys? We're gonna need to bring out the old-fashioned ratchet for those. Something is fishy, so get the ratchet. There you go. I guess the impact didn't want to. There it is. All right. Let's get those. Let's put this on back on the impact. That is out. Oh, one more. I knew I was missing one. It's going to be one right in this corner. It's really hard with this wire harness here. Try to find a way to slip it through, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. All right, we got all 5. Now, if my calculations are correct, this valve cover should be able to freely. What you want to do is maybe get like a flathead screwdriver, pry up on the engine block and the valve cover. There it is, to loosen it up a little bit. It should be trying to come free. This light is actually burning my face, believe it or not. All right, valve cover's free on this side. Try to pry up over here. All right, valve cover seems to be free. Now let's see if we can even slip it through all this stuff. One thing I forgot to mention is you want to remove this tab. Just put a flathead in here because this is connected to the rest of the wire harness. So you want to push that tab in so you can actually pull this out. And you want to tuck this out of the way. And now you have room to remove the valve cover gasket, which is up next. Take some fondling. Should be out any second now. Oh, you know what? I see the issue. Well, guys, the valve cover is off. I did not have to move this out of the way. I just kind of pushed it towards the inside because this part is flexible, but not here. So basically just pried it from the front and it came off just like that. Next step, we have to take this upper timing cover off, which is 3 bolts. There's a 10 right there, a 10 right there, and a 10, it's kind of hard to see, right there. All right, guys, let's make sure I didn't miss anything. 1, 2, 3, yep, those are the ones. Basically, guys, once you get that bolt out, 10 millimeter, another 10 millimeter right here, and then one more right here. There's going to be this little rubber grommet you just pull out of there, push down the tab, and pull the sensor out. Now, you should be able to take this cover out. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it is very hard with just one hand. But basically, you just want to pull it out. There you go. Beautiful. Now you can see the top of your timing. And right there is the camshaft position sensor. You can see it's another 10 mil, so we're going to be removing that 10 mil right there. Pull out the sensor and install the new one. Now we're going to put this 10 mil right in there. Now you guys want to be very careful when you're removing. There it is. Going to be very careful. Don't pull it all the way out. Do it with your fingers because it can drop in your timing cover. Let's see if we can do it by hand right now. Yes, we can. Just make sure you guys, there it is. Make sure you're fully holding it so it doesn't drop inside your cam cover, because then you would probably kill yourself unless you have the best magnet on earth and are very, very patient. So go slow. No need to go fast, because if you drop that bolt, it's not going to be fun for you. I can feel it's very close. You can see that. There it is. Hold on to the bolt. Store that in a very, very safe location. And we're going to pull out the sensor. There it is. Now time to install the new one. Basically exact same thing. There's a little tab that's going to go into the upper part right up there. So make sure it's sitting in there. And then, boom, put it in and screw it in. Let's go, baby. This is the brand new one. So, same thing. We're going to try to line up that dowel. Also, the bolt hole. It's kind of hard to see if it's in there. You should, yep, if you can, basically, you'll be able to tell if it's in there if you cannot twist it left or right. Oh, looks like I didn't get it in there. Now it's in there. Just like that. Make sure the holes are lined up. I'm actually using this camera to see if it's lined up as well. Looks like it's not. Got to push it a little bit down. There you go. It's up there and there. Bolt holes are lined up. Adjust it accordingly. There you go. Now we're gonna get that bolt. Now remember, do not drop this bolt. If you have small fingers, it makes it a lot easier. Let's try to get that bolt in there. Beautiful. And you'll be able to tell when it's screwing in. Looks like it is screwing in. Recheck, make sure it's in that dowel up there. As you can see, it's in there. You could even wiggle it back and forth. Yep, looks like it's good. I always like to hand tight first just to 100% make sure that the bolt is in there. And for this, guys, you're gonna wanna just torque it snug. You don't really gotta, follow any torque for it. Just make sure it's snug. Gonna grab this, make sure it's on tighten. Get it in there. It is plastic, so be careful. Maybe a little bit more. Just snug. Snug is good enough. It's not going anywhere. If you want, you can shake it. Yep, looks like it's good. And yeah, I'm gonna take this beautiful timing cover back, put this back on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There it is. Line it up. Perfect. And now let's get the bolts back through. There's bolt number one. Always do. Always, guys, and I cannot tell you more. Hand tight. There's one. Second one. All right. I actually forgot where it was, but it's right down here. Now the third one I won't be able to do on hand and probably not on camera, but it goes right in there and you guys get the point. Just, yeah. And the one, dos, tres bolts are on. Last thing we need is to plug in this connector into the new camshaft position sensor. Let's go ahead and, kind of scared because it's not clicking. What's going on, guys? Oh, there it is. It wasn't fully in. It's fully clicked in. Now push this grommet back inside. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe slide. There you go. It is fully seated, protected from dust, plugged in. Next step, what you guys want to do is grab one of these. Just clean up the valve cover, Clean it all up, make sure it's a nice fresh seal with the new one. Just take your time. Get rid of all the dirt and crud. Maybe even get a razor blade, but I think it should seal fine. Basically, just make sure all the surfaces are fully clean. You might notice some dirt. The back end honestly looks very good. Maybe not this corner. I probably could do a way better job at this, but it should seal fine. It is a Honda, guys, so very simple, very easy. Make sure it's a dry surface. Make sure also not to get any paper towel in there. That would not be good. You definitely don't want a motor with some paper towel. Probably will run like a motor on Mountain Dew. You guys don't ask how I know about that. On to the fun stuff, the valve cover gasket itself. I'm honestly not sure if you're supposed to clean the inside of this. Only if pieces are left, I believe, but there are no pieces, so it looks like we're good. So we're actually gonna open this new bad boy in. Oh yeah, we gotta get the spark plug seals out. How are we gonna do this? They're obviously not just gonna come out unless I'm Batman. There are little grooves, so I'm gonna put a flat head and try to pry that out. Now guys, the easiest way I found personally to remove these spark plug tubes, because they're pretty stuck on there, it's kind of hard to pry it out with like a pick or something. So I just put a flat head, if it could focus right there, Where's my flathead? Of course I lose it when I'm trying to show you guys this beauty. There it is. So I put it from the top, put it right at the top, and then just hammer this out. That's how you get them out. Very, very easy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and basically, so I got them out, which I already explained to you. These are the brand new ones. This side that's like open on the inside, you want that towards the bottom. So this is how it looks. Now, the best way is probably start it. Push it as far as you can with your fingies. Now, the only tricky part is it's kind of hard to get them all the way seated. I heard a 30 millimeter socket works best. I don't have that, so what I have, if I can find it, is this is a 36 millimeter, except I'm using this end because it is smaller. Now, it's not perfectly flush around the diameter, but it will get it kind of seated, so kind of get it over. Get yourself a hammer and try to hammer in that seal perfectly in the middle if it's possible. Might have to move it around just a little bit. Maybe angle it a little bit so it kind of sits in better. Try to... Yep, it's sitting in, not perfect, but just try to go all around. Try to get it all around as much as you can. Looks like it needs a little bit over here. I have 3 of them in, as you can see. It's not 100% seated, though. We're going to need to figure out how to perfectly get them seated. So, yeah, probably just try to find something, something to put in the corner and then just hammer it, you know. All right, guys. Next step is to remove the spark plug screws. Now, you just want to get a pry bar right in there. Maybe I can get this on video. Well, I hope I can. That's the whole point of this. Oops. I probably need the end of it. There you go. Flathead screwdriver. Oh, by the way, I got all the spark plug seals in. Let's get closer. So, you want to get in here. Try to make sure not to damage the aluminum. Oops. Yeah. That's what you want to do. And do that for all 5 of them. Now, once you get these off of the valve cover, you're going to want to separate the metal part with this rubber part. And you're going to grab a razor. Be careful not to hurt your fingies, but you're going to cut the rubber. Be very crucial not to hurt your fingers, guys. Razors can cause damage. Just be very careful. Basically, see how I'm putting the razor in there? Just basically cut this rubber part in half. Very important that you guys be careful. Because imagine life without a good finger because you could cut it. Trying to find the best way. Maybe I can peel it with my hands now. Yep. See, guys, how it's cut? Rip it apart with your hands. Maybe a little bit more some razor action, I guess. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, come on. Oh yeah, we're almost there. And just like that, we have cut it in half. I think. Oh yeah, we did. Separate it. And there you go. Now that this is off, you can take out this metal part. You're going to grab your new one, push it in. I got to figure out how to do this part. I think you just push it right on in. Let's try. Oh yeah, it wants to. It's a little bit hard, but see, I'm just got it on there. I'm just trying to squeeze it in. Pause. Come on. There has to be a way to get this on, otherwise how would it work? I have it like halfway on. There's got to be a way, ladies and gentlemen. There's got to be a way. Oh, there it is. New one is on. See that? Now you want to repeat the same process for every single one. Also, guys, please don't be like me. See this giant mess? Please be organized, but I know where everything is. Just, I don't know what's wrong with me, guys. Also, I put the new gasket on. It's very simple. If you can't put a gasket on, then you might as well just give up on cars. There's no point. You just simply place the gasket in the hole. It's literally laid out for you, so hopefully you can do that. Now we're going to put this... We're going to try our best to get this first try. Move everything out of the way again. Place the valve cover down. Try to get this back end first. Pry this out of the way. There you go. Get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. And get this hose out of the way. Getting closer. This wiring harness really wants to come down there. Just have to try to pry everything out of the way, ladies and gentlemen. I need to pull this out. There you go. It's really hard to see what's in the way. There you go. The toughest thing is to find out what is blocking what when putting this bad boy back on. Something's not seating. The hardest question is simply asking what. Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for not being able to show everything especially towards the end, but basically where I got stuck and I couldn't stick in the valve cover, you just kind of have to fiddle around with it and then it'll just, boom, fall right into place. Then after that, just repeat what you, repeat what you did, take it off, but the opposite, you know what I mean? Just put the 5 bolts back in, connect the injectors, and yeah, job well done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I put everything back together. I am so sorry I couldn't show everything. But first video, guys, time to start it. Garage is open. Let's have a seat. Let's crank this bad boy. Ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful start to the engine. Job complete.